The conversation I have with myself, that has changed immensely in the last couple of years, from being able to wake up and look in the mirror and say, like, you're going to kick ass today, and not making it sound cheesy, but making it come from a real rooted place. Just being my own biggest cheerleader has changed the game for me in all areas of my life.
Welcome to the Badass Manifester podcast, keeping you inspired with high vibe content, bringing you the best manifestation and mindset tools, teachings, interviews, and answering questions to help empower you to get out of your own way and take massive action to make magic your everyday normal. I'm your host, Ashley Gordon, spiritual life and manifestation coach, helping women and spiritual entrepreneurs manifest more impact, influence, and income. It is my purpose and pleasure to help you wake up to the badass creator that you are. Let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Badass Manifester podcast. I am really excited for today's episode. Today we're going to be talking about something that I'm personally working on, which is all about getting myself really nourished, right? From what I eat, mind, body, and spirit, but really focusing on the body and in a holistic way. So I have a very special guest today. Her name is Chara, and she is a holistic nutritionist, and she specializes in helping women lose weight and gain body confidence. And she's going to share all the goods with us today. It's a really important topic, and I met her at a really cool place, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But welcome, Chara.
Hi, thank you so much.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Me too. I'm such a big fan of your podcast, and from the moment we met, we just connected, and I've just been looking forward to this chat and conversation and be able to share some great tips with your audience.
Yes, I'm so excited. So we actually met at the Almost 30 live event in Philadelphia, and she was like doing her thing, and I was like, she looks important. You actually are important. Tell us what you do for Almost 30.
Yeah, so I'm the community manager for Almost 30, and I travel with Krista and Lindsay all over the place and help them run the events. And I'm basically the person that the community can connect to and relay those messages to Krista and Lindsay and back and forth. I mean, their community means everything to their business. The Almost 30 Nation is growing by the day. So it's really important that we had someone strictly dedicated to just making sure that our audience and our community felt heard and acknowledged and be able to be that voice for them.
So awesome. It's so cool. And the event was incredible. And so I saw you in the background doing your thing, and I was like very drawn to your energy. Like, you just have this glow about you. You probably get that a lot, but you just were glowing. And I was like, hi, I'm Ashley. What's your name?
Thank you so much. I mean, I think it really speaks to when you do something that you love.
Yeah.
You know, I really do have it best of all the worlds here, being able to work with a podcast that's so aligned with what I'm doing, and then to be able to have my nutrition business as well.
So awesome. So why don't you share a little bit about you, how you got to where you are? I know it's like such a crazy question because you're like, where do I even start? But wherever you want to start, just to kind of give our people a little bit of an understanding of like who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're so blessed in this day and age that there is so much nutrition information out there, maybe even sometimes too much. But growing up, there just really wasn't that much available to us. Like in high school, you'd go into foods class and they teach you how to make pancakes and French toast. And all of a sudden your body's changing, you're gaining weight in certain places, you're developing, and you kind of relate to it, like because of the media, seeing all these thinner models and all that out there, you think that food is just in this one light where eating makes you fat. And when you're going through all these changes, that's a big pill to swallow. And I just was like binging and restricting and over exercising and doing all the things right up until I was probably about 19, 20. And I realized there's no way, like life has to be more than this. Like I can't keep feeling like this. So I started doing my own research within nutrition and fitness and started working out on my own, and then friends coming to me asking for advice. And I just found that my whole life I had been so career driven, but I knew I was looking for something more than a job. I had a purpose that I wanted to fulfill. So I was doing all this research, and my boyfriend at the time, or my boyfriend now still, was like, why don't you just go to school for this? I mean, you love it. Was currently in school for acting, which I loved, but there was still that missing piece to my puzzle. So I went to school for nutrition, instantly was like, yep, this is where I meant to be. It was my happy time going to school every single day, and made it my mission within the first day of school that I wanted to communicate that food, food can benefit us, and it can make our lives so beautiful. I mean, food is an amazing thing. It brings all of us together. There's celebrations around it. And I wanted to reflect that in other people's lives, especially women. We can be so hard on ourselves. So I started my business and started working with women with the mission to not only help them lose weight, but to find out what works for them and to go deep inside and connect with that body confidence. Because body confidence, there's no size, there's no shape, it's nothing. It's how we feel, and it reflects in all areas of our life. So when you're eating and you're feeling good and you're kicking butt at the gym and you're being able to go out and be social with friends, I mean, it's such a great feeling, and our lives just feel so complete in that sense. So I started my business right away, right out of school, and I haven't looked back, and it's grown since then, and the opportunities to help women get away from diets and yo-yo dieting and just tap into this self-love and be able to enjoy a glass of wine on the weekends with their friends if they want to, but also be able to get right back on that train and just be so clear and driven with the goals and how they want to live their life.
That's amazing. It's so cool that you just were able to know what was missing and trust yourself enough to be like, no, I'm taking this leap. I'm going to this program and I'm never looking back.
Totally. And back when I was first going to school, I mean, there wasn't really Instagram as much, so there wasn't all these influencers to look at and kind of relate to. So I just felt so alone within my journey. And that's when I was like, this can't be the way. I want to reach out and be that sense of support for other women. And then Almost 30 fell into my lap, which was, I was able to expand that mission. And their whole thing is like, we're not alone in this journey. We're not alone through our transition. So it was just like everything just fell together.
Wow. So cool. So wait, you said something too about kind of like, it's just interesting to me how like our struggles turn into like our gifts. Like what you were struggling through is what you actually are helping other people with, which I think is like the most beautiful thing of like this day and age, you know?
Oh, it is one of the most true things, that anything that makes you work hard for is going to be worth it. I mean, you see all those quotes like nothing good comes easy, but it's so true. And for someone like myself who is so career driven, and I went to acting school, and then I did wedding planning for a little bit there. I did all these jobs because I just wanted to find my place. And all of those jobs gave me a strength or a lesson or an ability to do what I do today, which is where I'm meant to be. So doing acting school, I really learned to start getting deep within my self-work. I got really comfortable in front of a camera. Wedding planning gave me the events and organizational skills, and then came in nutrition and fitness, which was just brought everything together, and I've been able to create my business out of all that experience. But I mean, when you're like, for me in my mid-20s, I just felt so lost. And I was doing these jobs like, oh, what the heck is it all for? Like, this just seems so stupid. And then all of a sudden it lands and everything comes together. And you're like, wow, that I should have enjoyed the journey a little bit more.
Right. I'm so there with you. So there with you. I was jack of all trades doing all these different things too. And I'm like, where is this? What is happening? Like, yeah, what's the point of all of this? Totally. When you find your purpose, it's like, ding, it just like fits. I don't know. It's a weird, it's crazy, amazing feeling. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about, so I'm actually new in the last year and a half to this concept of like holistic nutrition. Mm-hmm. And for me, my whole life, I've been always thin, and that has its struggles too, because, you know, people shame me for that. And there's like there's other body image things that come along with that, no matter who you are or what you look like. But this idea of like, oh, I don't have to just be gluten-free, or I don't have to just be, I don't have to cut out all alcohol. I don't have to cut out all these, like all these things started to come in for me recently where I can have things in moderation. Like, tell me a little bit more from your expert perspective of like, what is the definition of holistic nutrition?
Yeah, absolutely. So holistic nutrition is definitely a 360 degree on your health and your lifestyle. So one of the main things that I work with my clients is I don't want to restrict them. I don't want to tell them, listen, you can't go out and enjoy evening out with your friends, or yeah, you need to give up bread completely. It's like, let's find that balance, and that balance will reflect within your entire lifestyle, because you're not going to do a 10-day like juice cleanse or diet or anything like that, and then after that 10 days you're exactly back where you started. We're going for long-term goals, and I know it's sometimes it can be frustrating because you're not seeing your results really, really quickly, but the thing is you're going to see those results for the rest of your life when you make those lifestyle changes. You're going to start to like slim down, gain that confidence, have more energy, and that's reflecting for the rest of your life instead of playing this like up and down type yo-yo type of game. So one of the best like compliments I received from one of my clients recently is she said, I went out on Saturday night and I had a couple drinks, and on Sunday I had the tools to know what to eat in a form of healthy kind of comfort food when she was hungover. And then she said, after I took those tools that you had given me, I put them in place, and then Sunday night I meal prepped for the week. She's like, I never used to be in my kitchen.
Wow.
So not only can she still go out and enjoy her life, she's feeling so good, and she has the tools to continue it like her entire life. And it was so amazing because she was getting married within a year. So we really got to work together really closely and build this lifestyle going into her marriage, and how she was going to feel and be able to be social, but feel great about her body. And now it's just a lifestyle for her. She doesn't think twice about it. So that is a perfect example of that 360, is that she does her morning meditations and she walks. So it's not just about food. It's not just about exercising. A huge part of this is the conversation we have with ourselves, how we speak to ourselves. So being able to wake up in the morning, give gratitude, start the day off on the right foot, and not let any external factors affect our goals that day or how we're feeling. So I know like a lot of people will look out the window and say, oh, it's so gross, it's raining outside. But Louise Hay actually taught me to look outside and not let not let those external factors play an effect on you. So now I'm in Vancouver and it rains 95% of the time. So instead of now looking outside and saying, oh, it's so gross out, and if I feel the need to make a comment, it's like, oh, it's really wet outside. Okay, that doesn't put any like dark imaging over my day. It doesn't change the way I feel. It's just an observation, and I don't need to take it on. So that's the other part of that 360 holistic lifestyle, is not just what we're putting into our bodies internally, but how we're treating it, the energy we're bringing in. I mean, there's just continuous studies coming out about the effects that our mind play on our life, but on our body as well.
Yes, yes. What's that quote that's like, if your body hears every thought you think?
Mm-hmm. It's so
Your
true.
body not hears. That's not it. I don't know. I'm butchering it, but like, yeah, your body obviously, but no, it is your body. Like your physical body is responding to your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love talking about this one study they did in New York a few years ago with a bunch of women who cleaned hotel rooms. And they took this one hotel and they split the women up into two groups. And one group, they said, the climbing of up and down the stairs and carrying all your equipment and going into the rooms, that work you're doing throughout your day at your job is meeting the like the general's requirement for exercise, for daily exercise. And they said, don't change a thing, you're doing great. And the other half of the group of the women, they said, listen, by cleaning your rooms, you're not quite getting the enough exercise. You need to source some other kind of movement elsewhere. So 6 weeks later, they came back, and the women they had told, neither of them changed anything within their lifestyle. They ate the same. They just did their whole life exactly the same. And the women that they told were doing enough throughout their job lost 60% more body fat, or something like insane, just by the way that they were thinking. So that's another thing. If your listeners out there feel like they can't make it to the gym today, or they're a little bit down on themselves, just to be like, you know what, maybe I can get a little bit of a walk in, and maybe that's just what my body needs today. Let's not stress about it. Tomorrow's a new day. And yeah, it's so true. Our thoughts really have an effect on our body.
You really do. I love that. That's a great study. It's the placebo is it's just crazy. It's just
Yeah.
crazy how it really is holistic. I get it. And I love it. So you were just saying something before about, what was it? I can't remember at this moment, but I'm just curious, like, what's your personal I remember about your client and how she would go out on a Saturday night and not feel guilty the next day around whatever she drank the night before, or, you know, how to care for her hangover. And I find that that is one of the most common things that I come across myself, but I hear other people come across as well, is like, you know, people know to take care of themselves, so we take care of ourselves all week, and then we want to go out on the weekend and have a good time, but sometimes it goes too far, and then in comes the guilt, in comes the shame, in comes the regret, in comes the cheeseburger, in comes the, you know what I mean? And then it's like this cycle.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
I mean, first you have to ask yourself why it is you feel you need this huge release at the end of the week. Like, are you working a job that you don't love? Are you finding yourself like really just wound tightly and stressed out, so you're turning to alcohol to release that? If that's the case, then I would say, like, definitely find someone to talk to. Let's get to the root of it. I know personally, I used to really rely on alcohol to get out of my social shell. Like, I feel I can come across as an extrovert, but often when I'm in a big group, sometimes I feel like I get really a little bit self-conscious. So I started realizing that I was turning to alcohol to let that loose. So I really challenged myself when in a group setting to just order like a club soda with a lemon, and just having a drink in my hand made such a difference. Like, it is that placebo effect of thinking that, like, oh, this could be alcohol, but in fact it was just a soda. And I was able to really tap into my inner strengths and let myself come out naturally. And since then it's been a huge difference in my life. I really don't drink much at all. And so for this particular client, she knows that that's just part of her life. She works in the restaurant industry, and the people she's with drink quite a bit. So she knows that at the end of the week, she just really enjoys. She doesn't rely on it. It's just something her and her husband do. They go out for a couple drinks. But mind you, she's made a trade. She knows that she likes to have a couple drinks on Saturday, which means Sunday she knows she's going to be meal prepping. So she always has that in the back of her head. She only drinks clear alcohols with clear, like, club soda and things like that. And she doesn't drink during the week. So she's made little adjustments. She knows that she enjoys it. That's part of her lifestyle, which is fine, but she knows that she schedules a workout on the day that she will be drinking that evening. So she's got her movement in. She makes sure to go for a walk the next day. So she's really just narrowed in on what works for her, what makes her happy, without feeling restrictive. Because as soon as we start taking those things away, saying, oh, you can't drink, you can't eat this, our body is all of a sudden like, oh, I'll show you. Like, I really want that. Like, I'm going to go and drink. But instead of just being like, you know what, we can have a couple drinks, let's just do it in a healthy way and make sure we have fun and it's not so alcohol or substance focused.
Absolutely love that. And it comes also down, I think, to like to actually taking the time to look at your life, at your schedule, at your habits, to be able to make those shifts. Because I think so many of us are just on autopilot, and we don't actually take the time to realize, like, okay, if I go out on Saturday night, I would feel better knowing that I worked out Saturday morning. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just planning those things in advance. Do you plan like your workouts in advance and things like that?
Definitely. Oh man, scheduling is everything, because we're so busy in this day and age that it's hard to be accountable to yourself. So I know what days, like, I'm going to be working out. I schedule my rest days. And for someone who used to feel really, really guilty when I didn't get that movement in or when I didn't eat that right thing, having this schedule, and like yesterday, I knew was my rest day. I had quite a few workouts. I've been working with my clients a lot, and just having that peace of mind that I knew today I wasn't going to be working out and I was going to be resting. I was so present all day and just so relaxed, and then really eager to get back on it today. But if you play this game of should I, shouldn't I, should I go to the gym, should I eat that? Yeah. It wastes so much mental energy. So what I like to think of, having your willpower as like a tank within your body. And when you start playing that should I, shouldn't I game, your willpower is slowly lowering. So that's why so many people at the end of the day, they often will binge after dinner and go for that chocolate, because all day they've walked into a cafe and said, oh, there's a muffin. Like, I really want it. Should I, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Or should I get a workout? Should I, shouldn't I? So then you're so depleted by the end of the day. So it's like, chocolate after dinner? Yes, because I have nothing left. So making that decision, that's why I also love meal prepping. Like Warren Buffett, he eats the same thing every single day, depending on the market. I'm not going to give his his meal any praise because he eats McDonald's, like some kind of Happy Meal or like well, whatever it is at McDonald's meal. He eats it every day, and depending on the stock markets, he'll supersize it or not, whatever. But he eats the same thing every day, so he doesn't waste mental energy having to think about what he's going to eat. So if you know that smoothies are working for you, you know that like overnight oats are working for you, stick with that. That's okay. You can switch what kind of fruit you're using. Like each week you can plan something with different recipes, different ingredients, but just do yourself a favor and spend that hour to 2 hours meal prepping one day so that during the week you can focus on yourself, your work, your family. Just take that. Our lives are so filled with pressure. Just take that little bit out, like do yourself a favor. And I think that sometimes people think, like taking time to schedule out workouts, meals just takes too much time. It's like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time for that. But really that 1 to 2 hours is going to save so much time throughout your week and will support your health goals in so many ways and just what you eat and how often you work out.
I love everything that you just said so much because I've been implementing this like halfway through 2019. I said to my husband, like the two things that don't get done and the two things that stress us out the most are we don't go food shopping. We weren't going food shopping and we weren't doing our laundry as much as we wanted to, you know? And so every day I would have that trigger at lunchtime and I'd be like, I'm starving. Like I have to order food. Like I'm working. And it would take up so much mental space, exactly like you're saying. Dinner time would come, he'd be like, what do you want? Should we have sushi? Should we have this? Should we have that? Should we have that? It was always that should game.
Yeah.
And it was just so draining. And so I said, next level us would have someone that would meal prep for us and go food shopping for us and do our laundry while they're doing that. Yeah. And so we went on care.com and we found someone to do it. I mean, it's not even that much money to have someone do that for you. Yeah. And it's honestly, it's $100 a week. It's wow. Yeah. And she meal preps, food shops, and does the laundry. And it has literally changed my life. It's changed my health.
Oh, I can only imagine, because now all that free time you have to go out and make money to support more people. You know, like it seems like financially you're taking a step back by hiring someone to do something that maybe you felt guilty at first that you couldn't do, but you know it's for the greater picture. Like Ash, you're meant to be out helping people. So by hiring, like Kristen and Lindsay did the same thing. They knew that they wanted to reach a bigger audience. So they took a step back financially, hired people, and how much we've grown within that time, you know? So you're really investing in yourself and in your health when you do something like that.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful. But I mean, it's so on point what you're saying. I'm now realizing the impact of like all that mental space it took up. It's crazy. It's
yeah. So crazy. And I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with recipes and like what you have to create. I mean, meals can be so simple. One of my favorite things to do is to put on a pot of quinoa, bake a sheet of veggies, and have some greens and some lemons in my fridge. So one day I'll take those baked veggies, I'll throw them on some greens with some lemon juice, call it a salad. Other days I'll take those baked veggies and put them with quinoa, I'll call it a stir fry, you know, and that takes no time. So you don't have to be so overwhelmed with all these, like, you see Instagram, all these fancy recipes, and it's just like, how the heck am I going to make that? I got home, it's like 8 o'clock, I'm starving. You know, it can just be so simple.
What's your favorite breakfast?
I'm really into my overnight zoats. So I make zoats. I'm going to claim it's my signature recipe. I've been doing it for years.
I'm going to need this recipe.
Oh, for sure. I can send it over to your audience to post. But so I really enjoy working out in the morning. I work out fasted, so I'll have a big glass of warm lemon water, and then I will have my black coffee, and then I'll go work out. And I work out in the morning because that's just what feels best to me. It's a great way to start the day. I get my endorphins going, and sometimes, like this morning, my workout was just going for a really nice long walk. And sometimes it's spin, sometimes it's HIIT. A lot of time training with clients, but I just think the way that my cortisol works, like I have more energy in the morning. I cannot work out in the evening. That just doesn't work for me.
What time do you work out in the morning? Like what?
Yeah, so I work out, if I'm meeting clients, we work out from about 7 to 8 normally in the morning. So I'm up at 5:45, and then I give a lot of time for like my morning routine.
Yeah.
So I am a morning person. I like to get up early. I really enjoy that quiet time. So I listen to a couple hypnosis and meditation podcasts while I'm walking to, or like in transport to my client to work out. And then I'll have maybe some athletic greens or green juice with a little bit of protein and water immediately after my workout. And then I'll go and I'll have my overnight zoats, which is, or a smoothie. I like to rotate, but right now it's zoats because it's so cold here in Vancouver. So I do grated zucchini, a little bit of gluten-free oats, flax, chia, a little bit of oat or almond milk with some water. And then whatever fruit I'm into. So right now I'm doing cinnamon and apple with a little bit of maca. And I'll just cook that on the stovetop or put it all into a container overnight so that it's ready to go in the morning. And I just eat that. And I have tons
of in the morning. Do you always heat it up, or sometimes it's?
In the summer, I enjoy it cold, like chilled, but in the winter, I really benefit from something having warm and cooked. And the overnight zoats. So you can do just plain oatmeal if you want to, but the zoats, I add the zucchini because sometimes I feel that I'll eat it and I'll just be so full from so many oats. Like it's a little bit much for me, and I am a big eater. Like I love like bigger portions. So grating the zucchini gives extra nutrients, extra hydration, and it also kind of waters down the oat content. So I'm using half the amount of oats, but feeling just as full, and it will keep me filled for hours and hours. So I can really get down to work and just focus.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. It intrigues me, and other people's routines intrigue me. And that's awesome. Okay. We'll definitely all need that recipe, right, everyone? Yes. Thank you for that. Cool. Wow. It's so interesting. I also do the lemon water in the morning.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of it? I mean, I know it's like so obvious, but just share them. Like, what do you feel like is the most benefit of it?
Yeah, I honestly love talking about water because I think it's something that a lot of us just don't really turn to, and it has such an impact on our health. So we forget that when we're in bed for hopefully 7 to 8 hours, during that time we're breathing and we're actually losing water through that perspiration, and we wake up and a lot of times we're 8 plus hours in bed, hopefully, you're not drinking anything. So naturally we wake up a little bit dehydrated because our body's been using all this water and liquid for our functions. And we wake up and a lot of people go straight to coffee. So that black coffee can be quite dehydrating. And our bodies have a very difficult, listen up audience, this is like a great tip, but our bodies have a very difficult time telling the difference between hunger and thirst. So often if you go and you have your black coffee and then all of a sudden, yes, cheers, drink more water all day, we will have like our breakfast and then we will still feel hungry because we're just so dehydrated that like our body's like, we need more of something, but it often triggers as food hunger, not thirst. So definitely start your day with the biggest glass of you can do tap warm, you don't have to boil it, of lemon water. That lemon will help boost our digestive systems. It will hydrate us, help the body's natural detoxification progress. And then it clears our skin. We're feeling bright, energy. We're ready to go. And then you can have your black coffee and your food and your breakfast, whatever it is. And then making sure that you're drinking lots of water between meals. So I like to say, stop chugging water about half an hour before your meal and about 40 minutes after your meal, because a lot of we can also dilute our digestive enzymes so that we can get really bloated or just feel extra full. So between meals, that's when you want to keep a water bottle by your desk and drink lots of it. And for people who just don't love just plain tap water, by all means, throw some orange slices in there. You can do basil, mint, lemon, raspberries. You can do lots of different stuff. But just keeping that hydration going. And then so often, like when 3-4 o'clock comes around and everyone's getting that mid-afternoon hunger pang, I challenge everyone to go to the kitchen, go wherever you are, down a big glass of water and let it sit for a few minutes and see how you feel. This is going to be one of the biggest ways you can drop weight, by cutting out those calories in the afternoon that your body doesn't even really need. And by all means, if you've had a really active day and you have that water and you wait 10-15 minutes and you're still feeling like you need something, go for a healthy snack. Have some like a piece of fruit on an empty stomach is great. A little bit of like apple with almond butter. You could do a handful of nuts, veggie sticks, all that. But just try the water thing and see how you feel. Because once you chug all that water, your body's like, that's exactly what I needed.
Yes, that's such good tips. Oh my God, such gold, you guys. I love it. So wait, back to the lemon water. How much of it? I drink every morning. I drink like a tea glass full. Like, is that not enough?
I would try to go, I would say like 800 milliliters to a liter. I mean, it seems like a lot. So when I first wake up in the morning, I'll just get like a regular coffee mug and I'll just down that. And then usually in the first few minutes of getting ready, heading out the door, walking, I'll bring like a mug of warm water and sip that. And then usually I'll be up for about 40 minutes, having downed almost a liter. Even if you go to like 500 to 800 milliliters of water, that's great before you have your coffee. And then making sure after your coffee, you're going to have a little bit more water as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then like half a lemon, quarter to half a lemon is fine.
Quarter to half a lemon. Yeah, that's what. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Sometimes I put pink Himalayan salt in it. Have you heard of that?
Good one. Yeah.
It actually tastes really good.
It's great. And if you're getting like a little bit of a throat thing, you can always add a little bit of organic honey that's local to your area. That's always a really good one with a little bit of salt. And then apple cider vinegar, if you can stomach it, that's also a really good one.
Yeah. I don't know if I can stomach that. I don't think I can. Cool. I think that like that for me, adding in that ritual has been such a shift just because I know that's what I'm having in the morning and I love the way it makes me feel. It's like I sit with the water. It's a quiet time. It's like I do my little meditation and gratitudes and like that is like a trigger for me to get into that state almost.
Absolutely. And I'd love to just touch on habits too, because now that it's become a habit for you, a big thing about making changes within your life is, like we mentioned before, not restricting. So not taking things away, but replacing them with a health benefiting, goal supporting type of habit. So if you're someone who automatically goes to the kitchen and reaches for that coffee, let's go to the kitchen and reach for that lemon water first. Have that, and then you can supplement in your coffee like when you're ready. But having that morning routine is so nice. So again, less mental energy. You go to the kitchen, you have your lemon water, you get your coffee to go, you're set. So same thing if someone's looking to lose weight and they have a bad habit of snacking after dinner. Say they really have a sweet tooth and always go for chocolate or cookies, whatever. Let's substitute that in with, there's so many beautifully naturally sweet teas, like licorice tea. You can get a decaf chai tea. Chamomile is amazing, chamomile. And then you can add a little bit of almond milk, oat milk, maybe even a little bit of honey or stevia or monk fruit, like a natural sweetener, and just sip on that after dinner. Because it's so nice and sweet naturally, like you're not adding too much like additional sugar in there. You feel warm, cozy. Chamomile is great for lowering that cortisol, getting you ready for bed. And it becomes a beautiful nighttime tradition without adding in all those extra calories and sugars that are purely coming from a place of craving versus necessity to our bodies. So just, if you want something sweet after dinner, let's just try that for a couple of days and see how it feels. And if that's not great, then maybe it's just a little piece of fruit, but just substituting a healthier, more supportive habit in there.
I love that so much too. And would you say that it takes discipline or willpower? Like, what's the word to switch the habit? Like, what is it? Behavior? Like, what is it? I don't know.
Honestly, I think a huge part of it is just remembering. I think there's so much going in our heads at any given moment throughout the day that maybe at the beginning of the day, we're like, okay, today I'm not going to have that extra serving at breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I'm not going to go for that muffin. But then when we're faced with it, our brain is so filled with other things, we just reach for it kind of like out of habit. So one thing I get my clients to do is at the beginning of each week, they write down 3 W's. So we call these our wins. These are 3 things that you'd like to accomplish each day. And it can be 3 minimum. You can go up to 5. Just make sure that each one is attainable. So for example, we'll say, okay, I want to drink 2+ liters of water this week. I want to refrain from getting seconds or second helping at dinner when I don't need it, when it's just purely out of a craving. And I want to replace having something sweet after dinner. So we're going to write those in our phone, write them in our journal in the morning when you're sipping on your lemon water. Put a reminder in your phone or somewhere, even like I love Post-its, putting Post-its around your house just to remember, reflect on goals. Okay, open the notebook, open your notes app on your phone, look at what you're trying to accomplish today. Okay, great, remembering that, perfect. So you're starting your day with that intention. Set another alarm at lunchtime. On your lunch break, reflect that. Then like as you're eating lunch, like, oh yeah, I don't need to go for seconds. That's my goal right now. And then do it again in the evening. So it's just these constant reminders so that it takes 21 days to build up a habit. So if you can just set these reminders for 21 days, giving that constant reminder, you'll be laughing. It'll become a habit. It'll become part of your routine and you can keep going. But a huge part of replacing that habit is you have to be prepared to feel uncomfortable. We're us as humans, we love the known. We don't love the unknown, we don't really love surprises and feeling uncomfortable. So it's really embracing feeling uncomfortable. So if not having something sweet after dinner feels very awkward and uncomfortable to you, just sit in it because that's where change happens. And when you start allowing yourself to find the comfortableness in the uncomfortableness, big things happen. It's the same when you're working out, when you're doing those reps. And ask yourself, is it really hurting? Like, am I in pain or is this just uncomfortable? And when I discovered that, oh my gosh, my life changed. Like my fitness just went to a whole new level because I was bringing up my tolerance to feel uncomfortable because I started seeing these amazing things happen. So it's like when you put yourself out there, often something so beautiful can come from it. So yeah, just when you're going through these changes, just know like it's okay to feel uncomfortable. You're in a safe place. Nothing bad is happening to you. Let's just embrace it and just sit with it and just explore it. Be curious about it. Don't just write it off because we don't like it as humans.
Gold. And it's my yoga teacher used to say, we'll be in like a really challenging chair pose and she'd be like, you're not going to die or get pregnant.
Oh my God, I love that.
But I love that, like really deciding whether this is pain or just discomfort. I can relate to that a lot right now because I was just away for New Year's and I got like hit with this purge. Like I was on the beach loving life and then I got inside. I'm like, I don't feel so good. I start throwing up. I'm like pooping. I'm doing all the things, TMI. But anyway, I was not on coffee that day or the next day because I could not even stand to smell anything, like even coffee, which I love coffee. Coffee. And so I've been off of coffee now for 6 days.
Wow.
And it's been uncomfortable. And I've been sitting in that discomfort. I'm like, I'm not in pain. This is just uncomfortable. And I don't even really have a reason why. And I'd love to ask your opinion on coffee. But I just wanted to see if I could do it really, know?
Totally.
And just wean off of it a little bit, just I guess like the acid, I was worried about too much acid in my body,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It's been uncomfortable, but I can do hard things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then when you start going through that, you do teach yourself like, okay, I can handle this. Like what else can I take on? And you start building that confidence. Yeah. It's an amazing.
Mm-hmm. So the confidence, like when you say like in your title, like you help women gain body confidence, all of that, I'm imagining it's just a byproduct of doing the work.
It is. It is. You need to, I think a lot of people hop into goals thinking that like saying, I want to lose weight. I want to feel confident in my body. It's so easy said. It's like, I want to learn Spanish. Okay. If you say you want to learn Spanish, are you going to wake up tomorrow morning having learned Spanish? You have to put in the work. You have to be prepared. That's why the diet and the health and the weight loss industry is so big because so many people want to achieve it. And so many people are just expecting it not to be hard work. So when you start embracing that uncomfortableness, that is hard work. And, doing that extra couple of reps at the gym, that feeling, that tough work physically is just as tough as the mental part. And I think we think of those as two totally different things. We think like, oh, going to the gym is one thing, but like, it's just as hard to say no to that cupcake that's sitting in your fridge or, those treats that show up at work. Like that's where the tough work comes in. It's so different from being physical. But yeah, it's the body confidence one is such a beautiful thing. I mean, when we start proving to ourselves that we can do it and we start putting in the work and seeing the results, man, your life just changes. Like you're able to ask for that promotion that you wanted at work. I mean, I think we reserve too many amazing things that could come from our life because we say we're not ready. I'm going to ask that guy out when I lose 10 pounds, or I'm going to, I'm going to do this.
I'm going to start my online business when I lose 10 pounds, right? Like, people say that too. Yeah.
Exactly. And I used to be that person. Like, I was like, I'm not going to post any body photos or bring on any clients until I look a certain way, because being in the health industry, I need to be a representative. And then I saw so many women of all shapes and sizes doing fitness videos and just being so successful because they're actually doing it. You know, they're just getting it done. They're not getting in their own way. So when someone first told me, Chara, you need to get out of your own way, that was the day that, like, I approached almost 30 and became a team member and became, I started my own business. Like, I just was like, I have it within me. I think all your listeners have it within them, but like, let's just put that ego aside. Let's put that inner critic aside and start adapting and loving that inner champion that we all know we have. We just need to feed it. So when you keep feeding that willpower, every time you say no to a cookie, your willpower tank, it grows. That strength inside you, it grows. And then all of a sudden, when you're out at a party and someone's like, here, have this big piece of chocolate cake, you say no without having to think about it. And that's when it's such a beautiful thing, because now no mental energy is wasted. You're gaining confidence with yourself. You're filling a willpower tank, and you just feel so strong and empowered without yourself. You're not looking for any external factors. And that's where the lifestyle part comes in. That's where you can do this long term, and you'll be able to fit into your skinny jeans every single day, feeling so good, because it's a lifestyle that you've adopted. It's not a fad or a weight loss. And you're not going to wake up Monday morning thinking you have to start all the way from the beginning.
Boom. Wow.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing so much wisdom with us. You're just on fire, girl. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so where can everyone connect with you if they want to work with you, if they want to follow you? How can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do one-on-one coaching, and I also do group coaching, because I know what it's like to be on a budget and still want that support. And I think that we can learn a lot from each other within group coaching. So I have group coaching dates started usually once a month, and it runs for 6 weeks. And every second week you get a full fitness plan that lasts 2 weeks, a meal plan that lasts 2 weeks. And then in the beginning chapter, it will give you a piece of motivation. This week we talked about how to navigate eating out at restaurants, what to order. So we always hop into a little something in the intro. So that's within the group coaching. So I do that. I do one-on-one coaching where you can do fitness plans, meal plans, all of that. Everything's available at charamarie.com. So CHARAMARIE.com. And it's at Chara.Marie on Instagram. And it's basically full across the board. Chara at charamarie.com if you want to contact me via email.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And you dropped so many amazing bombs. Oh, I have to ask you, what makes you a badass manifester?
The conversation I have with myself, that has changed immensely in the last couple of years, from being able to wake up and look in the mirror and say, like, you're going to kick ass today, and not making it sound cheesy, but making it come from a real rooted place. When maybe you don't get the result you wanted to, just being like, it's okay, this is a lesson learned. But just being my own biggest cheerleader has changed the game for me in all areas of my life. So I would say that's what makes me a badass manifester.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. The conversation I have with myself. Well, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful self with us. And everyone, go follow her, go connect with her, message her. She's just such a light. And I'm really excited that you are on the Badass Manifester show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ash. Love to all your audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Badass Manifester podcast. I love manifesting Mondays with you, and there's so much more in store right here. The best way to manifest love is to give love. If you loved what you heard today, subscribe to the Badass Manifester podcast. Leave a review on iTunes. Let me know how much you dig the energy here. All of my social is linked up in the show notes, so screenshot this episode, tag me on Instagram, and let me be part of your real-time journey. For more info on me, feel free to go to my website, manifestwithash.com. Repeat after me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. Go get them.